Are you someone who's really impacted by criticism? Well, I've certainly been in that boat many, many times and it really hurts. So, today, what I'm going to talk about is how to respond to criticism. And if you stay until the end, I have an extra point I want to share with you then as well. Now, just before we dive into today's episode, if you want to stay up to date with all the episodes, get an extra self esteem and confidence tip each week, click in the link in the show notes below to make sure you're up to speed so you can boost your confidence. Okay, so in terms of criticism, I remember like through quite a lot of my 20s and actually in my teenage years, even as a kid, actually, I received a lot. Like not necessarily every day, I got praise as well. Very fortunate. I know some people go through harder times than others when it just seems that some people are going through like everyone's out to get them. I wouldn't say that was necessarily the case. Yet I had real like sensitivity anytime I got any kind of criticism. And I remember an example when maybe I was about 25 before I got into any of this work, of course. And I'd like done a bit of work for one manager I didn't particularly get on. Um, and she was a very interesting character. And fortunately, I really got on with my line manager. Me and him got on really, really well. And he's a good mate of mine. And yeah, we speak now and then and catch up sometimes. But this other manager basically made a few critical points about me to him, and it really wound me up. Like I was like, what? Why can you tell me directly? Why'd you have to tell him? And those are kind of fair enough points, even when I look back now. Yet that kind of thing. And I got like some feedback on an email, and it just really wound me up. And I went mental. I was like cursing about her because luckily I got with my manager. And so he got me and him were kind of like mates, like I mentioned. Some people would be like mouthing off in that way. And I was just like really upset by it. And that wasn't the only case. Those are the kind of things. And I really struggle to deal with any kind of criticism. Now, it's always a work in progress. Like if someone criticizes me badly now, am I going to sit here and not feel like a little bit maybe upset, tiny bit of like, I probably would be a little bit. Yeah, I'll be able to bounce back very quick, well, a lot quicker than I would have used to. Now, why is this? Well, I kind of discovered for myself that we can take it very personally when we get criticism. And it comes back to those essential wounds, which actually really impact our self esteem, how much we like ourselves and how we feel about ourselves. And it's that fear that we're not enough or lovable. Sometimes it can hit a wound. Now it's a little bit different. I want to be really clear. If someone's down, just really nasty to you, saying horrible, vile things to you, that's a little bit different. That's always going to hurt, and you want to walk away from that kind of situation, or like if it's in a workplace, obviously make some kind of complaint. See what you do, what you see fit. But like when we get like a little bit of criticism, unfortunately, the more you show yourself and grow, especially in like business, the more likely you are to get criticism. And that's why I see a lot of people hold themselves back. And actually, it can be linked to that fear we're not enough and therefore not lovable. And that can hold us back. And it can be really, really sad to go through. I see a lot of people go through life, really struggle and be held back because, you know, criticism impacts them. So therefore they try and hide away, right, from as many things as possible. But that doesn't allow you to live a very good life. And I've been in that boat when I just like try to avoid things so I didn't mess up, so I wouldn't get any criticism. Now, obviously, some things like obviously a day-to-day job, I'm always going to have to go to some kind of, there's always a chance I might mess something up and get criticism. Okay. So I want to ask you this. How is it helping you by just being stuck in that place of like really getting fired up, upset, or wound up when you're criticized and not taking it well? Well, imagine the impact going forward, like what's going to cost you. Maybe repeat the same cycles, because it was for me. I was just really stuck in the same cycles and not allowing myself to progress because I'd be really dwelling on criticism. instead of using it in my advantage. So let's go through a few points. The first one, I want to be really clear, and I kind of touched on it, is no boundaries. And if it's unacceptable what they're saying, you've got to walk away, or, like I say, in a workplace, complaint. So sometimes a lot of people, and myself included, we don't know our boundaries in the professional and personal relationships and everything. And if you know your boundaries, it's a lot easier when you consciously make them, if you create them. Now, if someone's going to swear at me and yell at me, that's unacceptable to me. Know that and walk away. So that's the first point. Now, if you're like, actually, if someone's giving me constructive criticism, that's okay. Now, it may impact you a bit still, but actually, you can tolerate it to some degree. So know your boundaries and just see, when you even write them down, that's going to make a big impact. The second thing is listen actively. Make a intention to listen actively. If someone's giving you a little bit of criticism, say, that's with curiosity. Oh, that's really interesting. Okay. All right. How can I improve? Okay. That's what they're saying. Right. Okay. And then maybe even play it back to them, what they're saying. The third point I would say is just stay calm. Now, how can you do that? You can practice staying calm and grounded with things like meditation and breath work outside. Like, I like to do 20 minutes in the morning, and I do like a breath work, and I do meditation and then visualization before bed. The meditation is about 20 minutes, and then the visualization is 40 minutes. But the visualization is not as aimed for this, but like even a 20-minute meditation breathwork session is really going to have a massive impact, because it's going to keep you grounded if you can practice that and breathing into your heart. The fourth one is thank them and clarify. All right. Maybe hard to do, it maybe a bit of a practice, and you may not feel like doing that at first. As long as it's not like nasty. If they're shouting stuff, abuse at you, you don't thank them for that. I think you obviously know with your common sense. We're talking about if they're giving you a little bit of criticism that may be constructive, okay? And then ask them to clarify if you need. So those are my 4 points on actually how to respond to criticism. And I've got an extra one for you as well. Just before we go on to that, I want to mention again, if you never want to miss an episode, make sure you join the newsletter, link below in the show notes, where I'll be giving you a weekly insight as well into your self-confidence, self-esteem, mindset, and much, much more. So just click that link in the show notes below. Okay, so my final point, the extra bonus point I want to share with you today, is make sure you're praising yourself. When I was really sensitive, got really wound. There's nothing wrong with being sensitive, by the way. It's a beautiful thing, because you're often sensitive to other people as well, and you're a really caring human being. And I've got to be honest, I'm quite a sensitive human being. People don't always know that about me. I am, right? Even though sometimes I've got this like robotic, like go, go, go kind of mentality about me. I am actually quite sensitive. But in a good way, right? I won't go like crying if someone just puts a negative review about like my podcast or something like that, which fortunately hasn't happened much at all. And thank you for lovely reviews that I've had and stories that it's helping people. I really appreciate that. But like, I'm quite sensitive. And the thing is, I got to remind myself to actually keep working on my relationship with me. Because when I was really not working on my relationship with me, I was neglecting me, like particularly the example of the manager there, like that would, because I wasn't loving me, like I was looking for a lot of validation from other people. And when you don't get it, when you get criticism, it makes it really bad. And you start, like, I found I was lashing out and all these kind of things. When I loved myself a lot more and built that relationship myself, like when someone criticizes me, I'm like, curious, very, very interested, and, want to learn and grow from it, which is amazing. Well, I see it as an amazing progression in myself. So just remember to praise yourself every day. Just spend the morning for 5 minutes or evening for 5 minutes reflecting on what you achieved the previous day or that day, and then just writing down those things, and then praising yourself, patting yourself on the back and having a big smile. Okay, so that's what I got for you today in terms of responding to criticism. I appreciate you for being here. You're improving other people's lives by being the best you. And remember, you are in control of your own self-esteem and confidence.